This is The Fixx on Dash Radio.
You listen to The Fixx. So right now we got our guest in. Her name is Brittany Gilman. She's the owner, the CEO of BG Sport. You've heard her before on The Fixx. She's dope. She's worked with the best of the best. Tons of NFL players that have been to the Pro Bowl, to the Super Bowl, all that. But, you know, we're throwing that new twist on The Fixx for 2020. We're bringing in our guests to talk about specific topics. You've already heard them interview. You already know what they do that's dope. And if you don't, go to that YouTube page, pull up the app, listen to those old interviews. Today's topic is what is the importance of support in a relationship when trying to achieve a goal or chasing a career? Brittany, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll start it off with Be Easy or Kappa, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the very nice intro. I appreciate it. I love coming on the show, so thanks for having me back, everybody.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. Thank you, thank you. I guess to talk about that topic, I think that depending on what industry you're in and what your career entails, whoever your partner is, the most important thing they have to have is trust in their partner. And that trust and support and belief. I know me personally, one of the most difficult things that I find working in sports and being around athletes is that it's very rare when you find a man that's comfortable knowing that his girl is going to be traveling all over the world in sometimes intimate situations with their clients. If you're, you know, doing appearances or events or signings and then you go get food or different situations, or if you go out after, and a lot of times it'd be me and 5 guys and I'm the one setting up the club or I'm the one setting up the post, you know, activities that everyone's doing. So the partner needs to be, number one, it's the trust. They have to trust you and they have to be confident in their own selves so that they're not bringing their insecurities and pushing that on you, because that's been something that I deal with a lot, is the guys are going to be okay and understand. If I'm committed to you, I'm committed to you. It doesn't matter who I'm around, where we're at, what we're doing. There's no chance that I'm going to do anything that would hurt my partner. But that's a lot easier said than done. And even if a man says initially he's cool with it and acts like it, he'll be challenged in certain situations when that situation comes up. Keeping that faith and that trust, and that's really hard.
That's interesting. I haven't heard it from that standpoint. It's I don't know too many women who are traveling with athletes all the time with only the only woman in that situation.
Yeah,
that would be very difficult for sure. Definitely trust would be big on that one.
I agree with you 100% with the they have to be confident in themselves. I think once somebody is confident in themselves, everything they do after that is it's like easier, especially in relationships. And if the person, if they're focused on you and what you're doing and they don't trust you and you're telling them, like, I'm the same way. If I'm with you, I'm with you. There's nothing to worry about. But when you bring those insecurities, it kind of it pushes you away from that person more so than brings them. And I think a lot of people think that it brings them closer because they're like, oh, they're showing that they care because they're so concerned. But in reality, it's doing the opposite of what they think it should be doing.
right.
It's really pushing that person away. Like, you questioning me and you making all these assumptions, and it's not true.
Right.
And you start to look at things from a different perspective. So I think that when you are in a relationship with somebody, if you're not confident with yourself, you should probably take a step back and say, you know what, I'm not ready to be in this relationship because of this. And I think the main thing that a lot of relationships are missing is communication. They don't take the time out to say, hey, let's talk about this subject or let's do this. They play the psychic game, like, oh, I'm going to sit here and act mad, and then they'll ask me why I'm mad, and then I'm going to say nothing. And then it's like it's a tug of war shit. Instead of just saying why they're mad, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like, what's wrong with you? Nothing.
Don't worry about it.
Like, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. And it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, if nothing was wrong with you, I wouldn't have to ask what's wrong with you. So it's obviously something wrong with you. So let's talk about it. Right. And then it turns into a tennis match. And then next thing you know, you have an attitude, and then they have an attitude, and then it's like, what are we upset about? You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, well, I'm mad at da 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 da. It's like, well, why didn't we talk about that?
So one of the things that I always try to think about in any situation when there's controversy or difficulty in communicating is you have to think how that individual was raised and who taught them
100%.
communication skills.
100%.
Because if their parents weren't the type to discuss issues, or if you're uncomfortable, say something. This is how you say things and bring it up. That person may not necessarily have those skill sets to be able to communicate or feel comfortable saying what's wrong, being vulnerable, taking accountability. These are all things that everybody needs. It's necessary for any relationship, but not everyone knows how to do that. And so sometimes if you think back, and I was always taught to try to have compassion as well. So no matter the situation, even if it's someone that you really don't like or that has really done you wrong, trying to have compassion for, okay, what is this person going through? What is this resulting? What is this a result of? Is this due to a deeper pain or issue or trauma that happened, or perhaps growing up, or things like that? And even if people do you wrong, and trying to always be the bigger person, having compassion towards that individual, no matter what they've done, can often help to deal with the situation.
I agree with that too. You're right about that. Like, it depends on how they were raised and what they were used to growing up in relationships, if they have been in any relationships like that were real relationships, quote unquote. But I think too, on the flip side of that, if you present those communication skills and you're open to helping that person with communication and they don't receive that information, then it's like I can only let that go for so long, to the point where it's just like, okay, that was initially the problem, but now that we're here and I've opened up to you to help you with communication and you're still not doing it, then it still presents a problem sometimes.
Kind of piggybacking from what you just said, I mean, I think my relationships personally wise has helped me, because I used to be that female to be like not even speaking on it. If I'm mad, I'm mad, and play the guessing game. But I got to a point where even my past relationships have taught me I need to be more vocal about things, what's bothering me. So yeah, I mean, I have gone to therapy. I've had to face the fact that my parents, my upbringing, I don't know if it's like just living in a Latino household, but we don't talk about it. Like, whatever happened to you, keep it, quiet. That's it. You keep it moving. And I got to a point where my relationships are suffering because of me just not being vocal about it. So, yeah, man, I really think that, therapy, it's definitely a great outlet just to kind of break the cycle of like family traditions of not like speaking on certain things that do bottle inside within you. So.
Yeah, therapy does help, because not only does it highlight what you're not getting in a relationship, but it also highlights what you may not be bringing in a relationship. In the past, when I went to therapy, what I found out was I was making the person that I was with not feel important, and that affected them because growing up, their father made them feel like they were not important. So no matter what they did, it was never good enough for the dad. So whenever I would do certain things, it would trigger that. And what it was she was still dealing with that battle from her childhood. But on the flip side, I was also getting those same feelings too, because when I was a kid, my dad, my biological father, no matter the dope things I did playing sports, none of that. Didn't never care, never came to that. So it was like, when I'm not getting support from her at that time with all the dope stuff I was doing, it was triggering something in me, pissing me off, because it was giving me those feelings of what my dad gave me, which I didn't know until the psychologist. She was gangster, I'm telling you. She called me out on that shit and was like, she's making you feel like how your dad did, and you're making her feel like how her dad did. And it really made me take a step back, like, damn, dude, like, I don't want to make somebody feel like how they're making me feel.
Yeah.
And then what it did was, after that light was shined, it actually improved the whole thing, because prior to that, I wasn't getting no support on nothing. I could do the dopest shit, be on the cover of a magazine. Oh, that's cool. What? The fuck you mean that's cool? I didn't get a raise at a fucking Rite Aid job.
Yeah.
I'm on a fucking magazine. Like, what the fuck? So like that type of stuff was like pissing me off. But for her, it was, it was like kind of like that. She didn't know she was doing it. She felt like she was giving the ultimate props when I wanted more than that. If I'm getting more from somebody else, and they like, I'm about to buy that shit. The homies on this, you know, and it's like you just like, oh, that's cool. Like you triggering stuff. So like counseling, like she said, like that shit like really helps you a grip, man. Like a lot of people have that fear of going, but like it's just you and the counselor, you know, edging out all those problems that you have.
I also think that support is extremely important to your success, right? So you're in a relationship, one person's doing something super dope, the other one's doing something super dope. At the end of the day, if you don't feel like you have that support at home, you're probably not going to be as successful, because I feel like when I go into a situation doing something that's super dope, I know that there's somebody at home rooting for me, and I don't want to let that person down. If you have that feeling, you're going to do everything you can to make that person proud, and anything you can to be successful. And that's why I think support is 100% necessary if you're going to do something dope. And also knowing your lane. When it's not your time to shine, it's not your time to shine. If you got to be in the fucking bleachers, you know, rooting them on, that's what you have to do. But know your lane.
Yeah, I just feel like with trust comes support, and with support comes love, and it's almost just like a chain type of thing. You know, they're all connected, and I feel like, so, like in any type of relationship or bond I have, like I need your support. You know, because I am going to support you. What is the point of us being friends if we don't support each other? What is this relationship really about? What type of conversations are we having? The conversations you're going to have are going to be so surface level. And like I said prior, like I'm more than just a surface level individual. So I need to vibrate on a higher frequency. So if you can't show me that support, then how do you expect me to be there for you? You know? So I think it's people tend to get caught up in their pride and their ego, and we, you know, we could all be selfish, and it's totally understandable, but it's like taking that moment and just thinking about that other person, like you said, having compassion, you know, and not everyone's an empath, you know, but just at least trying to understand how something might feel from that person's perspective. And also too, what Jay was saying, you know, I think even when we're in relationships, and even when, you know, someone's like, why are you mad? And you're like, you know, don't want to talk about it. I would do that too for like the first 5 seconds. And then I'm like, we know, like this made me feel this way.
You know how it's funny. Like,
you know, you're like, you know, it's funny how, blah, 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 blah.
That's actually so
my God.
But, you know,
Jesus
I
Christ.
think too, though, like, once you realize that you can't have a truth to truth with whoever you're with.
Yeah.
I feel like that shows that you guys need to work on becoming friends again. You know, like that means that you guys maybe aren't spending as much time as you guys need to with each other, and really like having a heart to heart and just genuinely enjoying each other's presence.
You don't care enough.
You don't care enough because it's like, well, this is my partner and there's a problem. We need to talk about it. Like the fact that we can't talk about it, that is even more of a problem. And then that should make you want to feel like, well, dang, like you my partner, like we being intimate and we kissing, and like I can share an intimate connection with you, but I can't even like tell you this is how I feel. So it's like halfway feeling, you know. It's like you're only feeling to like a 50% degree, when it's like if you gave that 100% where you're still being intimate with them, and so I'm like, hey babe, like those shoes aren't it, like though, like we really should not do that, or like just you know simply open up about, you know, maybe her dad treating her a certain way, or your dad treating you a certain way. I think it takes a moment for you guys to be like, you know what, like, even though you're my partner, you're still my best friend. Like, I should be able to have conversation with you. And like, but you should, but essentially, I wouldn't want that though. Like, essentially, you know, that would be a great thing to have, and not necessarily best friend, but you just know when I come home, man, I can talk to my babe and be like, yo, like, babe, this is what happened today at work. Like, this had me fucked up. Like, you know, like. And
it's also us as men. Like, a lot of men just don't feel like talking about their emotions, but like in what they're going through. But in reality, like, that's how you're really a man, is by talking about your shit.
Oh, true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not able to talk about your shit, you know, like, who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, look in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's going to affect you eventually.
I'm dropping some heat. Some straight heat. I think another thing too is you can't expect the person that you're in a relationship with to always be your biggest fan. you have to be your own biggest fan. You have to be content with yourself. You can't be looking for gratification in the person you're in a relationship with, because that's really not their job to be your source of inspiration. You should be inspired by yourself, because there's no guarantee they're even going to be there. You know, nothing in life is guaranteed but death, as we all know. But
And taxes.
True. But if you're not your biggest fan, I mean, you're already setting yourself up for failure. So if you're looking for support in that way, of looking for them for that ultimate praise all the time, you're never going to get that.
I think, too, it's important. I think people have a misconception of just because they feel like, just because I feel bad, I got to call you and you got to feel bad with me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Misery
Like,
loves company,
it's
man.
like, yo, I'm having a good fucking day right now. I don't want to feel like, I don't feel like being like, not to say that I don't have any compassion for what you're going through, but fuck,
You're
man.
the most comedic motherfucker on this thing.
Like,
I swear to God.
But I'm being real. Like, you
Yeah,
may
that
be
was
in a
real
good
shit.
fucking mood, and then it's just like a lot of people, they have that misconception of like, oh, you're close to me, or you're my friend, or you're my girlfriend or boyfriend, or whatever the case may be. Like, you got to be sad too, or you got to be mad too, and it's like, nah, like that's not like fair on somebody's emotion. It's not fair to drain somebody else's emotions because your emotions are drained. It should be like, hey, you know what, this happened, but fuck it, like, you know, like.
Keep your circle tight, you know.
And you know, I think we all preach to the choir when we say, you know, it's so hard to. It is, because for me personally, I know if I'm going through something, I don't want you to feel the same way I'm feeling. I need someone to talk to, you know?
Yeah.
But in terms of like people trying to make people feel how you're feeling, it's like, you know, with everything in life is just balance, you know? And it's so hard. Like, we are all constantly
Facts.
trying to find balance, you know? You might be mad one day and be like, yo, man, Blasey got me effed up. And you might be venting and someone might say something you weren't expecting them to say. And it's like, I'm trying to still stay mad. Like, you still want to be mad, but that person isn't feeding that anger. So then you're like, well, dang, why aren't you feeding my anger? Then it takes you a moment to be like, well, dang, maybe I do need to chill out.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to calm down for a second. But like I said, I think balance in everything, in every little like perspective of life, it is so hard to try to maintain and just keep your cool. But like, I think we are all, you know, working at it, and you know, none of us are perfect. So it's a continuous struggle to provide balance.
Should have an outlet too, you know?
Yeah.
100%. It could be the gym, it could be the studio, it could be whatever it is, but something that you could do by yourself so you don't have to drain somebody else's energy.
Yeah, and not even that. It's just like, because I was in church, and I'll never forget. I think I was in church like 3 years ago, and I've never forgotten this. And my preacher was just talking about how, you know, like, it's great, you know, for you to have this partner and everything, but no, let me take that back. Actually,
Hold
that's what
up.
I'm trying to say. Because it wasn't going to sound right. But basically what he was saying is you need someone who could love you when you don't love yourself, basically. And like, yes, you
That's a
are your
gem.
biggest fan, but you ever be like going through something and you trying to like psych yourself out of it, and then you still be like, dang, but like, but this, but that, you know, and it still is like knocking down your confidence. And sometimes you just need that extra voice to be like, yo, you good, babe? Like, you got it. Like, everything's gonna be good. Let's keep pushing through. So I think it's just that matter, just like knowing that when you're super down, you know for a fact this person is gonna lift you back up. And that's what feels so good and warm. Like, just knowing that love is like amazing. And I think, yeah.
For the viewers, you should see Cody go hugging herself right now. It's
Yes,
amazing.
literally, like, it is amazing. It is amazing, though. It's amazing
She-
amazing what someone just showing you support and their attention can do. Like, that could change your whole day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
Everybody's like, yeah.
Brittany Gilman, what do you
I
have to
need
say?
2 mics.
You know, I just got 2 mics in my. So, oh shoot, let's go. Yeah, I totally agree. Having that person that backs you no matter what, and that can elevate you when you're in those down times. You know, that's something that is people who have it. Y'all are lucky.
Hey, did
Very
everyone
lucky.
here have a Valentine? We know
Yeah.
it was just
I did.
Valentine's Day.
I did.
turned up a
It was a
little
good day.
It was a
It
good
was
day.
a good day. I think,
It was a great day.
yeah, it was a great day. But I think I think
Yeah.
I think that the time I spent yesterday was important due to the stuff we've been going through.
Nice.
And it wasn't necessarily just the Valentine's Day part of it. It was just the spending time part of it because we don't spend a lot of time. So I think it was good, but it's still like a lot of shit that still needs to be smoothing out throughout, the year, not just Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To make
Yeah.
shit, cohesive. But
Right.
I think Valentine's Day is a cool day, but I think every day you should always be there for your partner. And, I think it's just highlighted, but it's important to be there, 365 days of
Every
the
day is
year.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, every day's Valentine's Day.
For sure.
Okay, so everyone else have a Valentine?
Yeah, it was tight.
By the way, I haven't had a Valentine in years. Let me be real.
Just spending
Well,
time.
you're in a relationship, bro, so that's different.
Yeah, bro.
That don't apply to people outside.
Does she mean like something specifically happened
Your
to highlight that day, or do you? That's what I mean. Like, my
if
shit
you're
yesterday was hella like a normal fucking day.
right, but that's
My sons
because
was bombing on me, running around.
I think Jay's feeling a little salty that he
No,
didn't
no, no,
feel
no.
You can have a
special on
Valentine's Day today. Just go
Day.
down there. You know what I'm saying?
listen, my
So do you guys celebrate Valentine's Day?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I murdered the whole food chain last night at dinner. This shit was lit.
so I think
Yeah. You know what I'm
that
saying?
could have went both
Look at my
ways.
face.
What
That
y'all
conversation could
looking
have went
at?
both ways. I think for people that are
Y'all demoted me.
single, people that are single are quote unquote dating and not married. The Valentine is whoever you spend the day with that day, considerably. Like
Yeah.
that's who your Valentine is. I think that people that are in relationships and married, like serious relationship, I mean that's an automatic. Like
Yeah.
you just do something special with the person you love. Like you do something special every day. Being married is special enough. Like so, I feel like that's something that's like it's a given. But people that aren't in relationships, that are just dating or just kind of seeing where it falls, I think whoever you go out with that day or decide to spend your time with that day, whether you the main piece or that's the side piece, however you. Today is side piece day. Get started. It's the Saturday, so today's side piece day.
Today's a side piece day.
Yesterday was main piece day.
There's a reason why you still see people on the corner
yo.
slanging them teddy bears.
Because they coming,
Today's
they
side
pulling
piece
up.
day.
Oh,
Nah,
bro.
but-
I think you just invented the fucking funniest holiday ever, dude.
That is funny.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, but at the end of the day, I feel like whoever you spend your time with on that day is that special person. And if you don't spend no time with nobody and it's just yourself, then it's just yourself. Love yourself. Like she just hugged herself. Hug yourself. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. Like shit. go masturbate. Like, hey, go do something. I mean, go do something for yourself. If you feel good, hey. Happy Valentine's Day to yourself. Masturbate and going about your day. Buy yourself something special. I mean,
If
it's
you got
nothing
an
wrong with
issue, here's a
self-love.
tissue, you know?
It's nothing wrong with self-love. You got to please yourself. So
What did you do for Valentine's Day, Brittany?
I worked. You did? Yeah, I worked all day.
So
She
work was
loved
your
herself.
Valentine's then, yeah. Sometimes you gotta
She
love your
loved
work, you know what I'm
herself.
saying?
Valentine's Day, I just which was yesterday. I just spent time with the fam. Well, honestly, spent time with myself. Watch.
she
a
loved
movie.
herself.
Yes.
Again.
Love myself. I have been talking to this guy a little bit, but not too.
It ain't there yet,
It
huh?
ain't there yet.
Hey,
so,
who is he,
Yeah.
Codigo?
But he did hit me up on Valentine's
You better
Day,
act
which was
right.
cute. I was like, okay, I guess I'm thinking you think about me.
Did you
I'm
leave him on
thinking
red
about
or
you.
what?
Like it's cool. No, I didn't leave him on red.
you
You know. Send a couple emojis. Nothing too crazy.
Just a couple
but
winks
Just a couple winks or two.
and a J Well flex arm or what?
A J-Lo flex.
Never. But no, Valentine's Day is super cute, and I guess for those who are single, it's also Single Awareness Day for those. But I think too, people put a lot of pressure on Valentine's having to be a boo or someone that you're intimately seeing. It's like your Valentine could be your daughter, it could be your son, it could be
Totally.
your mom, it could be it could be your dog, literally. But I think too, people forget that. Anyone can be your Valentine.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, really quick. I have a really good friend of mine, and he's been in love with me for a long time, right? But we just cool. Like I always tell.
That
Like,
sounded different.
that's.
I have a friend for a long
you-
time. He's been loving me for a long time.
Okay,
It's his day today. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen.
It's his day. I'm sorry. My bad. Oh, Diego.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I try to be cool. I know that he's had very intense feelings for me for a long time, but overall, he's a good friend. And, I could tell that, like, he just feels like he wants to be in my life. So I keep him in my life from a distance, But he tried to get me yesterday, right?
So what y'all doing today?
Absolutely nothing. So he hit me yesterday like, hey, I don't know what you're doing today, but you want to go to the movies with me? And I was like, ooh. Like, I looked at the text like, ooh, no.
We need to have a show
But
about
then he
this.
hit me again with he texted me again and was like, I was actually supposed to have a date, but she didn't end up coming. So I was wondering if you wanted to come. So I'm like, dang, like.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like how you set it up, but I caught you.
Yeah.
But I caught you.
Got him.
Would you guys be pissed off if a guy gave you one of those little teddy bears that you see people slanging on the corners? The ones that come in the bag, the fucking Valentine's Day bag.
Like
with
the Easter basket bag?
Yeah, with the hard-ass candy and that fucked up teddy bear. Would you be mad if he pulled up and was like, here you go?
I would prefer for him to take it out the plastic and just give it to me. Like, I don't want like the whole.
A lot of women prefer that.
Yeah, like I don't want the whole thing with the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just to me, it's like, I don't know. It's not that honest. It's like I would prefer for you probably just give me a teddy bear than for you to give me that whole thing. I don't know. Me personally, that's just how I feel.
I mean, he gets a little credit for effort.
Yes,
Just
for
a
sure.
little bit, but it's
Yeah, but what's credit get him? Yeah, come on now.
Kiss on the cheek.
Thanks,
Hey,
Bill.
this
Yeah.
was
Just
sweet.
the goodwill.
Damn, the Goodwill.
Yeah.
It's
Dang.
rough out here, man.
Girls can
It's
be,
rough.
I mean, not girls, women, we can be so harsh.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Guys can too, though.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
I don't know what you're talking about, B.
No, men can for sure be harsh. Y'all like asshole harsh. We're like attitude, nigga, you ain't shit harsh. Like,
I'm like one or two lines in a diss song harsh. My bad.
yeah, that's true.
I'm a definitely a very, very, very nice person, but when it's time, it's time. I can say some, I could do or say some harsh shit. It's like, damn, motherfucker, you mean, but it's like, but it takes a lot to get me to that point. But if you never get me to that point, you'll never have to see that.
I think
Respected.
A lot of people have that side. I think that's like that internal, as a human being, that protective wolf mentality that if people feel threatened or if their families are threatened or what they've built, their empire, and someone's doing something or intentionally really
Don't test
hurting
my
them.
gangster, right?
Yeah.
But people will
that's
take
like
your
that.
kindness for a weakness, though, because I'm
Yeah,
very
100%.
nice. So a lot of people see that and they're like, I'm not gonna say people. A lot of women see that and they're like,
Yeah.
oh. And then the other side. Oh, he's
that
nice.
was an ad lib. That was for surely an ad
He's
lib.
nice. And I am.
Yo, hey, that's gonna be the new drop this week, for real. It's like you are now tuned into TheFixx. Oh,
He's nice.
No, I think people have two identities. And
oh shit.
I for sure think all people have two identities, and I think that it's just a matter of how fast it takes you to tap in with that second identity that might just bark at you and make you feel uncomfortable.
I mean, honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I would accept it wrapped and all. Like, I don't care. I mean, I feel like sometimes, like, if he was on his way and he just saw it, he's like, I'm going to scoop this up, whatever. She can do what she wants.
I
with
fucks
it.
with you, Karen.
But
That's what's
I
up.
would keep it wrapped and all. Call me too hood, whatever, but I would keep it.
No, I fucks with it, Karen. All right.
I mean, I'm going to keep it in my room or not stop like that.
Right? You're not going to take it out? That's what I'm like, take it out the plastic from me. I appreciate it, but take it out
I'm
the
not going to
plastic.
eat him.
Yeah, are you gonna treat the bear how like a Italian
What,
mom
what
street
about when you
couches?
leave to go on a date and you hit that corner where he bought it from and they salute him because they just seen him buy it?
How to be like, what's up, That's
Jay, you have your own scenarios in your head, bro. This shit's funny as
Yeah,
fuck.
Jay making up his own.
like,
Jay be coming up with his own scenario.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Full
what?
blown scenario.
Like, he's
If you
got
made a
B-roll
left
footage.
instead of a right,
Like down the corner, you got it off him.
and you see the rose man standing right there, you know you just got them roses from her.
I
Up with
have a
that, Jay.
story.
B-roll footage, motherfucker.
You guys tell me if this is mean or not.
It's mean. I'm just kidding.
My
I'm fucking with you,
last-
Brittany.
Last boyfriend, he was in London. He was French, and he's like, "Oh, I'm planning this day, whatever." And you know, I show up and he hands me a little bag. I was like, "Oh, so sweet, Valentine's Day. This is Valentine's Day, whatever." And in it was like a little Gap T-shirt. I was like,
Hold on,
"Yo."
what?
Wait.
It was just a
No,
T-shirt.
Guess.
Okay.
Okay.
But
It didn't change.
Just
It didn't
come
change
on.
my
That was the day. That was the
just
day.
to guess. No. This is like a couple years ago. Guess T-shirt, and I looked at it like, what the fuck is this? Like, I haven't bought a Guess T-shirt since I was 16,
Damn.
and like, you see the way I dress.
Yeah.
You see, I mean, you bought me like a 12-pound T-shirt. What the fuck is this? I'm so sorry.
12-pound converted into U.S.
About
dollars.
$15.
Okay. I was like, all right.
$16.
Do you feel like he
Yeah.
was just going through something financially and was like, hey, at least it's something?
I mean, no. because-
Yeah. he hadn't got his
real.
income tax check yet.
Hey,
you'd
How
be
much is
better
that
off-
shirt? All right.
You'd be better off buying me flowers.
And then a lot of women don't like
all
flowers.
right, let me ask you
though.
this:
I love
Did you have bigger expectations because he was French?
I mean,
Yeah, you
Kind
did,
of.
huh?
You thought he was gonna pull
You
up.
thought you were gonna-
he planned a nice
You thought you were
day.
gonna get some frog legs and shit that
So
night.
time
you know
out.
what I'm
Oh, wait, so
saying?
the
Wee
rest of
wee,
the day,
motherfucker.
wait, yeah.
Yeah.
So give us more to the story. So,
Yeah,
okay.
you selling us the
You said,
beginning. We
That
need
was
the whole
beginning,
day.
right?
You gave us the short stack.
A Crown Royal bag. God damn. Oh my God. She said, was it in a Crown Royal bag?
I fucks with you. I fucks with Karen.
I can't.
You're definitely from the hood. Yo,
Her
you
side,
definitely from the
her
hood.
side corner teddy bear in the Crown Royal bag. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
that is the
You
movie. That's a
gangster,
movie.
Karen.
That's a movie.
Gangster
I
Karen.
like it. I like it. I like
Wow.
it. Keeping it true. I like it. I like
What
it.
was the rest of the day like?
But where that
So,
bottle at?
He gets credit for the rest of the day because he planned all this stuff. But same type of situation. He took me ice skating.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then we went to a really nice dinner. But the problem is, if you're gonna do something like that's fun and exciting and it was sweet to think about it, but number one, I'm jet lagged as heck. Number two, like I'm tired, and to take me ice skating the day after I get to London, when usually I sleep like the whole day, it's very sweet. But me personally, I would have been like, I would have rather had him be like, okay, babe, I know it's trying to surprise me.
You would have preferred for him to pull it to the crib like, hey, babe, like, we're going to do like a candlelight dinner. Let's sit by the window, play some jazz or something. And I'm going to cook for you.
Nice.
At least I would be down for that.
Complicated because I feel like sometimes like I want him to surprise me, but then some other times I would prefer him just to ask me like, what do I want to do?
Other times the man would just prefer you
yeah.
guys tell them.
But then I feel like yeah.
Guessing's hard, y'all.
Yeah, guessing. I feel like
Guessing's hard.
when we ask, then it's like, well, why are you asking me? Why aren't you just doing it? You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, damn, I can't win for losing. Like, I asked you, now you mad at me because I asked. And then if I wouldn't have asked you, you're like, well, why you didn't ask me? And then it's like, I don't know, but I feel like in that scenario, he gave you the shirt that was a cheap shirt that you didn't really like or appreciate. But then I feel like technically it wasn't his fault that you had jet lag. He was being considerate of the day and trying to make the most of the day. So he was just like, hey, like, I got something cool planned. And true story, I was gonna go ice skating yesterday or like to the roller rink yesterday, but it was later in the day. But I feel like that's something cool that he was just like, hey, I'm gonna do something fun with her. And then you say you had a nice dinner too.
Yeah. No,
So what
it
was the
it
mean
was
part
cool.
then? What's up?
The what?
What was the mean part? Did you
the shirt.
go in on him or what?
I mean, I'm just like, because I'm usually a really nice person, I felt bad that I was like, is this a joke? Like, why did you give me this stupid T-shirt that I'm never gonna
Oh,
wear?
my
And I-
man.
No, gosh, no.
Oh, I thought you
was
said
like,
that shit.
no,
I was
no,
like,
no,
woo.
I thought
So
you said that.
you're in the closet mean then. Fuck off. You know what I'm saying?
No,
you
I'm
should
not.
you should have told him what's good right there.
I was like, oh, thanks.
Wow.
This
Oh
thanks.
yeah.
But clearly it showed that he didn't know me at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you gonna like? But it was a very thoughtful gesture.
Was it over after that?
Oh, it was over real soon after that. He was terrible.
How many days?
She said it was terrible.
Shit, terrible.
Probably like 10 days after that. Oh, he
Damn.
was horrible. Ugh.
10 days just when you got off the jet lag. 10 days later, you had some time to think. I
Right.
feel
He
it.
was just an idiot.
Yeah. Well, today's show was dope. I want to thank Brittany for stopping by. We got some dope topics we talked about, but we got to wrap it up. I want to tell everybody, make sure you go check out that Eventbrite for our event on March 7th.
Slide through.
It's the Fixxx Live Show and concert. We got a bunch of dope artists, a bunch of dope vendors. We got the two best DJs. Me and Be Easy gonna be there.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And
Facts.
we got the best host there. You know, so definitely pull up to that. Get those discounted tickets now, because if you don't, you're gonna be paying $15 at the door. Make sure you check out our website, www.thefixxaudiocast.com. Make sure you go to Codigo's Instagram at CodigoRed, Codigo_red. Make sure you go to my Instagram, DJJ Wealth. Make sure you go to Be Easy's Instagram, Be Easy the DJ. Check out Karen's Instagram under Karen Stephanie B. Make sure you check out Capo's Instagram under Capo Corleone, and make sure you check out Brittany's Instagram under BG Sport. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This is The Fixx. I'm your boy Jay Wealth. We out.
Yeah.
Late.